What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY in the overall market and break down what's going on with the economic calendar moving forward as we have big data coming out for today. And some news about Tesla, which is actually quite decent. Just know that I'm not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on invested cash. The offer ends at the end of March. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the market. So I just want to mention that as far as Tesla's going, we're clearly making lower highs right over here, which is not the best of signs. However, we are trying to see a retest of this resistance. And I did talk about this in my video yesterday. I was expecting some kind of upside move here. We have to see if Tesla could hold above this 233 area. If we do, we're looking for 237 as our next target, and eventually back up to this trend line. So there might be a temporary push towards this, and we'll see if we get a rejection on off of that 237 area. I do think we try to push a tiny bit more, but we have to be very careful. Now, even if we get a rejection there, it does not mean Tesla's going to just dump forever or see a big pump. It doesn't matter yet, because what's going to matter is the reaction we get after FOMC. So just keep that in mind. There's been some news coming out that many of Tesla's dealerships are facing vandalism. There's been a lot of protests and negative thinking towards Elon Musk. Keep that in mind, that there's like a lot of geopolitical risks, at least for them, especially considering that Elon Musk is involved in the White House. So we're seeing this happening all over the U.S. and also in parts of Canada. So I just want to make this very clear that there's been a big uptick in these attacks that are going on. Very recently, there were a lot of prosecutors in Colorado that were charged because of a lot of things going on in more Tesla dealerships. We also saw the same thing happening in South Carolina. So throughout the country, whether you're in Oregon, South Carolina, or etc., we're seeing a lot of violence near Tesla showrooms, dealerships, and etc. So, this is continuing because of the protests that are going on amidst Elon Musk and etc. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up about that. Not the best of news, but it's been going on for a while, so I'm not sure it's affecting us as much. I didn't get a chance to talk as much about this in more details. What is good is the fact that Tesla's registrations were up about 10.9% from 13.8 thousand, right, beforehand. That's like a week before. Now we're at 15.3 thousand. So there's a big increase, at least so far in China. It's good to see their sales starting to go up thanks to the Model Y refresh. But is it that huge of an increase? Not that huge if you compare it to what we saw like last year. We're not actually at those levels yet, but it's good that there's a slight increase, at least right over here. So hopefully this continues as demand begins to increase as well. Finally, there's been some news that the new Model Y price actually went up just a little bit in China by about $1,380 USD. It may not reflect strong demand, but if anything, this is something that is going on right now. Some of the variants of the Model Y, such as the RWD, we're actually seeing that going up. And then they also introduced 0% 3-year loans at very, very low rates. So that could be another reason why this is happening. So just keep that in mind. That's what they're trying to do to get those overall sales up with the lower interest rates. Now, there were some downgrades that kind of trumped this news yesterday. That's why we got a sell off. So that's the reason why we weren't as focused on this. But despite that, like I said before, some improvements in China. So once again, the share price is trying to push here. That's exactly what we predicted yesterday. But whether or not we continue to pump or dump is going to depend on this. At 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Fed interest rate decision. So this is going to be most likely when the Fed announces their pause. I don't think the Fed is going to raise or cut rates. They're just going to keep them exactly the same today. I think that's most likely going to happen amidst all the uncertainty associated with the tariffs. But then the economic projections report will be very important at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So get ready for that, guys. That's going to be very huge. Then when it comes to President Trump, he spoke with Putin yesterday. Now apparently Zelensky says he's going to be speaking with Trump amidst the ceasefire talks. So it's good to see Trump being willing to speak to both sides to try to get something done. But once again, talk is talk, and talk is only so much. We need to see action. That's what matters so much more. So we will see how things end up going. So with that being said, what matters is action. Will we see some kind of ceasefire deal? If that ends up being the case, That's going to be huge for the markets. It's going to be huge. We want peace between Russia and Ukraine, but with all these talks continuing, we'll see what they lead to. So for now, we'll see how things end up going, but be very, very patient. Besides that, there's not really much else that's going on. We do have a couple of retail stocks announcing their earnings very, very soon, especially tomorrow, but that's pretty much it. Anyways, as far as Tesla's going, so we're anticipating this is going to try to push a little bit higher. Might try to retest resistance around 233 to 237. We'll see if we get a pullback move again here. Then we might just kind of consolidate for now. And then we're going to see a big reaction after FOMC, whether it launches us back up to about 243, or if we get a big rug pull back down. If we don't hold 230, we could turn back down towards this low. So watch that very carefully, and we'll have to see how it goes. But look for a little bit of a push back up to about 233 to 237 to those resistances. We could turn back down to about 230. Then look for some consolidation. The move does not matter for now until we get to FOMC. On SPY, it's the same thing, right? We're not really doing a whole lot. We're very flat right now. It depends if it could hold this low. We're looking at 562.38 as resistance. If that breaks, we're looking for 565. If this rejects, we could be turning back down to about 559, and then that could also turn us back down. So watch these levels very closely. We'll see if this is like a head and shoulders or not. There's a bunch of different interpretations of this. My gut feeling is that we're going to see like a pop when we open, come back down towards this low, and just kind of consolidate for now. And then FOMC Jerome Powell's either going to launch us back up or cause a big rug pull. It could go either way, but it really depends on FOMC. For now, look for a lot of consolidation. I'm not really expecting too much. If we manage to get back above like 570, that's bullish. If we lose 555, we could turn back down. Otherwise, we're in the middle. The QQQ has support at 474. We have resistance at 480. I expect the same thing, right? A little attempt to push to the 20 EMA around 477. Bit of a dip to 474 and some consolidation like this. And we'll see if we break out higher or lower. So watch these levels closely. There's this gap to fill down here. So there might be some kind of downside move coming. But will Jerome Powell launch us up? If we get back above like 485, it's going to be very bullish. If we can't, if we end up losing 470, we do expect the lows to be retested. So we'll see about that. For the Russell, same thing, right? We typically just see a lot of chop for the first couple of hours. We do have a gap up here to fill. So do we consolidate, maybe try to slowly push up towards that gap fill and then come back down? And then we'll see, does Jerome Powell launch us or cause that rug pull? We'll just have to be very patient nonetheless. ES is trying to rebound. It's very choppy right now. Look at 5681 as our resistance. If it breaks that, we could get close to 5700. If we lose 5650, we could turn back down towards 5625. We're very choppy. We're very much just consolidating, so we have to give this a little bit more time to develop. So keep that in mind. There's a big red bar here, which is not a good sign. I wouldn't be surprised if we see, a small pullback consolidation like this. Then we'll see if Jerome Powell causes a launch or dump. We'll just have to wait for that. Keep that in mind. Same thing with NQ. It might retest 19,800, then consolidate off that. If we bounce and break through that, we're looking for the 20,000. If we reject, we're looking for a dip to about 19,600. I think we touch 19,800, kind of consolidate, then we'll see what kind of reaction we get. For Bitcoin, we're looking for a test of about 84,000. We'll see what the reaction is. If we lose 83,240, we could turn back down. This is favoring upside a little bit more. For Nvda, we have a potential inverse head and shoulders, but it depends. I want to see us get back above 117 and then 120 to turn bullish. If we lose 115, we could turn back down. I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of dip and consolidate first, and we'll see if we get a bounce. It is trying to hold support, so there's some hope for it. But like I said before, it depends on FOMC. Apple's trying to rebound right here. I would like to see it get back above 215. If that breaks, we could try to push more. For now, it depends on FOMC. Coin kind of flat here. We're barely holding the support. So if we look back down on the charts, we're barely trying to hold this like 175 to 180 area. If it gets back above 185, it could try to bounce. If it ends up losing support, we do have a gap to fill. So it's possible we hit this resistance. Maybe we come down to fill that gap, consolidate. Then we see either a bounce or a dump, depending on Jerome Powell. So keep that in mind. Amazon has the same thing going on. We have these lows right here on the 190 area. We want to get back above 195. If that breaks, we're looking for an attempt for 198. So we're going back and forth between these levels, so just give it some time. For Meta, we have a bullish divergence. I would like to see us break past 597. If that breaks, we're looking for a bigger pump. If you reject, you're looking for a dump back down. I do anticipate this is going to be pushing for 597.8, so give it some time. I do think we're going to try to pump here, but that's pretty much it. For Microsoft, we're kind of consolidating. Might see a dip to about 382, and then it might just consolidate. Then we'll see what the reaction is. Google looks a bit more bullish. I just don't want to see us lose 162. We may continue to push for 164, then 165 in that range. Then we'll see how we end up reacting. So just give that some time. For the VIX, we're kind of flat right here. We'll just have to see if we break past 22.5, especially as we have this gap above. Will this reject off this resistance near 22.5, or do we break through it? We'll have to see about that. It all depends on FOMC. So for now, Tesla's trying to push. It might push a little bit higher for 233, if not 237. But then I wouldn't be surprised if we turn back down and we just kind of consolidate up there. So that's what I'm essentially looking for. But whether or not we make a huge move is going to depend a lot on what is said at FOMC. So get ready for that, guys, and be very, very patient. Thank you for listening. Have a good one, and peace out.